Let your hair down. Fuck all of them. Mom that shit out. You the baddest bitch on the block. Let's go. No, I'm sorry. You the baddest queen on the block. Let's go. Let's go. Baddest queen on the block. Pull the fuck out of the way, Edomite. Let's go.
Let's give all praises to the Most High, whose true name in ancient Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name in ancient Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, which in ancient Hebrew is the Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the elders of GMS, who taught us this truth by the Holy Spirit. Honors to the brothers, risking their life and freedom to push the gospel. Peace and blessings to the elect, who consist of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, who make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel, according to scripture and prophecy. So we back with another lesson through the mercy and spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. And also, the elect would be 1/3 of the Israelites who's returning back to the Most High for salvation, while the 2/3 of Israel who don't seek the Lord in time be destroyed with America. And that's according to prophecy. Lesson will be titled, The Wicked Revealed. White people are the Edomites is now common knowledge. Again, the title is The Wicked Revealed. White people are the Edomites is now common knowledge. So just about everybody know and understand that white people are not actually called white people or Europeans or Caucasians. That according to the Bible, they're the Edomites. That's now common knowledge. That's not an understanding just for those of us who dwell in the truth. But the people of the world now got the understanding that white people are the Edomites. That's why you saw the first clip. The Israelite woman was taking pictures. An Edomite came on the scene. The Israelite man told him, "Get the F out the way, Edomite." Now he could be in the truth, but more times than likely, he probably not. Because we know most of our people not going to come into this in this lifetime. But even if they're not fully in this, they got the understanding that white people are not white, that they're the Edomites. And we see this, more and more people talking about this as well. Like I got a video, it's going to show, it's going to call out the Israelites, the Whoish, the Ooish. It's going to say they're not the Jews, they're the Edomites. I'm going to show that video next. But the reason the world now has the understanding of who Esau the white man is, because the Lord about to bring judgment on them. And then not to mention in the book of Daniel, it said knowledge shall be increased. That's not talking about the knowledge of the world, although that has increased and well, but the knowledge and understanding of the scriptures would be increased before the end. But this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity. What's another word for iniquity? Sin. So the mystery of iniquity, pretty much the wicked. The wicked would be a mystery before he's revealed. We didn't know who the hell these white people were. We know where the hell they came from. Now we understand they're the Edomites. But again, the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. So the mystery of iniquity, the wicked, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, they been at work. They been wicked long before we woke up to the truth. Because you got Americans talking about America has become a satanic country. America and the government has become corrupt. They've been corrupt. This been a satanic country. These people been evil. They been wicked. That's why it says the mystery of iniquity doth already work. They been at work before we would catch on to who they are and that they're the wicked. We still catching up. We still behind on his past wickedness. We learn something new every day. Only he who now letteth will let. So ultimately, it was Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai letting the wicked do what he do until he be taken out of the way. And we in that time that the Lord about to remove Esau, Edom, the white man, from power. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed. So before he's taken out of the way, the wicked will be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, meaning by this word, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So that's who the Lord is coming to visit. And check this out. We'll get back to that later. But the wicked will be revealed. And that's the bigger picture of why we now understand that they're the Edomites. The Lord didn't reveal this information to us just so we can crack jokes at him and cuss him out and tell him he's an Edomite. No, the Lord revealed this to us because he's about to get judged. And guess what? 2/3 of our people gonna be judged right along with Esau. So we're gonna play the first video again, and then we're gonna jump into the next.
Let your hair down. Fuck all of them. Mull that shit out. You the baddest bitch on the block. Let's go. No, I'm sorry. You the baddest queen on the block. Let's go. Let's go. Baddest queen on the block. Move the fuck out of the way, Edomite. Let's go.
See, didn't everybody laugh like they understood the lingo? And then the book of Job, which we'll get at the end of the lesson, it says he will be chased out of the world. And that's happening worldwide. But this was just a small example right here. He was chased, off the block. Okay, so we're going to get to this next video. It's 5 minutes or so. And then, hold on, 4:38. You see the title of the video. It's not the Jews, it's the Edomite posing as Jews. So, again, it's common knowledge that Esau, Edom, the white man, are the Edomites. They're not Caucasian, they're not the Jews, they're not Europeans, they're not white people. They're not Scottish or English, they're the Edomites. And then this video got over 23,000 views and over 300 comments. So the gospel has truly spread throughout the earth. But let's get this video and hear the information that's being brought out.
Let's listen to this and then we will continue.
So it's not the Jews, it's the Edomites posing as Jews. Edomites are the Canaanites.
And that's incorrect. The Edomites are not the Canaanites, but the Edomites did take on Canaanite practices like child sacrificing, drinking the blood, witchcraft. The Edomites did take that on and exceeded the wickedness of the Canaanites. But the Edomites are not Canaanites, but they take on those same practices.
Know the Bible.
I've been saying this, it's really not the Jews, it's the Satanists that have hijacked every religion.
Know the story of Jacob and Esau. Esau was cursed. He went and married 2 Canaanite women. And
okay, so now they're talking about Jacob and Esau. Now, we got to get that real quick, that information. We got to bring up Jacob and Esau now. Because figuring out who Esau, Edom, the white man is, you got to go way back to the beginning. This is Genesis 25:21. Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren and the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. So the children, obviously she had 2. This word struggle mean the children were fighting. They were fighting in the womb, Jacob and Esau, within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? If it's a blessing from the Lord, why is it such a rough pregnancy? Or, why are the children fighting? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Those 2 nations being the Israelites, which consist the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the 12 tribes. The other nation being the Edomites, who identify as so-called white people today. From the Americans to the Russians to the Europeans. Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Two manner of people. Two totally different people. We are spiritual people, and they obviously the wicked. They sick and twisted. It says the one people shall be stronger than the other people. We know who's stronger. It would be Jacob, the 12 tribes. For example, the so-called black, Mexican, Native American man dominate in sports over Esau, the white man. And we also stronger mentally as well. It says, the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they call his name Esau. So this is the father of the Edomites, Esau. And what it say? He came out red all over. Because white people are not actually white. They're actually a shade of red. You know, from pale to pink, and some of them flat out red. That's why they call themselves rednecks. What color is Santa Claus cheeks? What color do they be when they in the sun? What color do they be when they crying or when they angry? Red. And after that, his brother came out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. So it described how Esau looked, but it didn't describe how Jacob looked. Because in the beginning, everybody had color. Everybody was different shades of black and brown. But Esau, it mentioned his color, that he came out red all over, because that was not normal. But this is the birth of the first so-called white man, a man without color. And then concerning Esau, Edom, we got to get this real quick. I got to come to the book of Malachi. Matter of fact, 1 and 3. 1 and 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord, talking to Israel, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob and hated Esau. So the Lord said he hated Esau. And that goes for all the Edomites today, who are the children of Esau, and lay his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. This is the second point. Whereas Edom say, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, because they fell out of power, and they was in the caves, living as cavemen, but then they came back out of the caves and came back into power. That's why you got that period known as the Dark Ages between the Greeks and the Romans to the Renaissance period, you know, around the 1400s. Well, they was in the caves. They shall build it, but I will throw it down. And the Lord is throwing down this system. It says, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So Esau, Edom, the white man, the Lord called them the wicked. Another word for border would be territory. So that would be the territory of the wicked, because they are the wicked. So let's get back to this video.
All right, let's listen to this, and then we will continue.
So it's not the Jews, it's the Edomites posing as Jews. Edomites are the Canaanites, and if you know the Bible,
I've been saying this, it's really not the Jews, it's the Satanists that have hijacked every religion.
you know the story of
And those behind the genocide in Gaza, you know, the war with Iran, those are not the real Jews of the Bible. They are the Edomites.
Jacob and Esau. Esau was cursed. He went and married 2 Canaanite women, and their tribes became the Edomites. The Edomites were eventually absorbed into Israel,
And that's worded incorrectly. They weren't absorbed into Israel. But we're going to let him explain what he means. Pretty much, the Edomites who call themselves the Jews today, well, they took on Judaism, in which Judaism ain't got nothing to do with the scriptures. Judaism ain't got nothing to do with the laws and commandments that was given to the ancient Israelites. It's his own thing.
As Jews. Edomites are the Canaanites, and if you know the Bible,
I've been saying this, it's really not the Jews, it's the Satanists that have hijacked every religion.
you know the story of Jacob and Esau. Esau was cursed. He went and married two Canaanite women, and their tribes became the Edomites. The Edomites were eventually absorbed into Israel and were converted into Jews, but they kept their dastardly.
And how did they get absorbed into Israel? Well, what happened was the Khazarian Mafia, which was located north of Israel in that region, all of the neighboring countries got so sick of their disgusting evil practices that the rulers of the surrounding countries forced them to pick a religion. It forced the leader of the Khazarians to pick a religion to follow, so that way there could be an attempt at peace in that region, and that neighboring countries' traders wouldn't have to deal with passing through Khazaria, where a lot of them actually went missing. So their solution was to force them into a monotheistic religion, and the Khazarians chose Judaism.
And Judaism ain't got nothing to do with the scriptures. It's his own thing. Judaism is a mix of paganism and other religions, with some aspects of the Bible, but not really. Judaism is pretty much paganism, a combination of different pagan gods.
Being Satanists.
Ways, and they are the synagogue of Satan that Jesus was rebuking because
the synagogue of Satan. Now, who do you think they learned that from? Sound like from those of us that teach this truth, beginning with the elders, the GMS.
Get absorbed into Israel? Well, what happened was the Khazarian Mafia, which was located to a monotheistic religion, and the Khazarians chose Judaism.
Real Messiah. Their whole thing was about stealing back the blessing that Esau
to a monotheistic religion, and the Khazarians chose Judaism. The Khazarians being Satanists.
Ways, and they are the synagogue of Satan that Jesus was rebuking because they were living amongst the Israelites at the time. And from what I read, King Herod was actually part Edomite. But long story short, they killed Jesus, they killed the real Messiah. Their whole thing was about stealing back the blessing that Esau stole from Jacob. So they killed Christ and have been working with Satan to destroy the world. But in the Bible, it's written that the righteous tribes will rise and that God will destroy each and every one of them. And
they've been working with Satan to cut off the Israelites, not destroy the world. And Herod was an Edomite. You can't be part Edomite. You are the line of your fathers. But again, this is now common knowledge. It ain't just us, who they call Black Hebrew Israelites. The average person now knows this. Those who say they are Jews and are not, so-called white people, they're Edomites.
Edomites will go to live in the Holy Land, the fake Jews, the ones who worship the Star of Rapham, the six-pointed star that they have on their flag and have legitimized to all of.
You heard that these Edomites will go live in the Holy Land. Let's get that again.
And that the Edomites will go to live in the Holy Land, the fake Jews, the ones who worship the Star of Rapham, the six-pointed star that they have on their flag and have legitimized to all of us via their psyops. The six-pointed star Jews, those are the Edomites posing as Jews. But they're really just continuing the Canaanite practice of child sacrifice, satanic Baal worship, Moloch worship, all that nasty such Saturn worship, child eating, child blood drinking, child sacrifice, etc. And they're posing as Jews. And they are the ones that Jesus Christ called the synagogue of Satan. And so it's not the Jews. It's the Edomites posing as Jews. The Khazars, the Ashkenazis, the Canaanites that basically migrated to Ukraine. But the good thing is, according to the Bible, we don't need to do anything. God is going to smite each and every one of them. Yep. And he said he was going to do it when they return to Jerusalem, which they all are. And they're going to try to bring about a fake Messiah, but God's going to destroy it.
Okay, so we'll pick back up in the book of 2 Thessalonians. Dang, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So Esau The Lord about to bring judgment on them. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed. So before he's taken out of the way, the wicked will be revealed for who he truly is. It says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him. Who is this him? The wicked. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, which we get it in the NLT. It's this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power, signs, and miracles. Kind of like what the dude said, that the Edomites would be working with Satan to destroy the earth. And I said that wasn't true. It's to cut off Israel, but that's true as well, destroying the earth, because that's what they've done. And that's only recording the prophecy. But back to 2 Thessalonians 2:8, the wicked shall be revealed. Let's get that word revealed in the Greek. G601. It says to uncover, to lay open what has been veiled or covered up. Something that's covered, meaning it's secret. Uncovered, meaning it's no longer a secret. And that's why when you go here, it says to make known, to make manifest, to disclose what before was unknown. So the wicked being revealed, it means to make known what was previously unknown. We didn't know that they were the Edomites previously, but now we know. And it's become common knowledge. So the wicked has been revealed to the elect first. Lord willing, we part of that, but then to the rest of the world. It only makes sense with each passing day. And that's Proverbs 4:18. Path of the just is as a shining light that shine brighter and brighter to that perfect day. So the truth is only going to shine brighter and brighter. But yeah, and then shall that wicked be revealed. Meaning previously we wouldn't know about it, but now we know. The whole world is catching on. And then he said that the Edomites would live in the Holy Land. And that's according to, matter of fact, I'm ahead of myself. Now, concerning the Edomites, those in the land who say they are Jews and are not, this is Revelation 2:9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, who've been claiming to be the Jews. Just the Jews only. Not none of the other tribes. Nobody's claiming to be Manasseh, Naphtali, Asher, Reuben, but they all claiming to be the Jews. But the Lord said they are not. They the synagogue of Satan. Back to 2 Thessalonians 2:8, when it says the wicked shall be revealed. Then in verse 9, it says, whose coming is after the working of Satan. Well, that's the synagogue of Satan. That's who Satan is working through at the top. Them fake Jews. That's who Satan is mainly working through. But you can't just say you're the Jews. You got to be in the land as well. So who say they are Jews and are not, who live in the Holy Land, but they don't belong there. You can only claim to be a Jew if you live in the Holy Land. That goes along with the lie. Then, like you say, the Edomites will be living in the Holy Land in the last days. And this is Ezekiel 36, verse 5. Therefore, thus says the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen. So the Lord said the heathen, and against all Idumea. So he mentioned Idumea by name. Who is Idumea? We're going to show in a sec. Which have appointed my land into their possession. Who's in possession of the Holy Land today? If you go by race and color, what color of people do they appear to be? Is it not white people? Them Israelites, the fake Jews. against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. So they did it in spite. They did it, you know, as a way to mock us. Took our identity and then took our land. And then that's not just at a shot at us because we're the people. Ultimately, that's a shot taken at the Most High. And that's in Ezekiel 35. But who is Idumea? The Lord said, I spoke against the residue of the heathen, but against all of Idumea. And Idumea have appointed the Holy Land unto their possession with despiteful minds. So who's Idumea? Well, let's get this in the NLT. This is what the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua says. My jealous anger burns against these nations, especially Edom. See that? Especially the Edomites. Because they have shown utter contempt for me by gleefully taking my land for themselves as plunder. So like we say, it wasn't just a shot at us. It was ultimately at the Most High. But yeah, all the Idumea, especially Edom, the Lord says anger burns hot against them for taking the land. Because that was outright disrespect. But we see what's going on right now. They at war, being bombed to death by Iran. And that's according to prophecy. Because remember, in the last days, the Edomites, they're going to dwell in the Holy Land. But look at this. This is Psalms 10 and 16. The Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. And that's the Holy Land. Because who perished first? The Palestinians. They in the Holy Land too. The Lord dealt with them, got them up out of there. You know, by his sword, by the wicked himself, Esau, Edom, the white man. You know, the synagogue of Satan, them Israelites. But who's left in the land? The Israelites, those who say they are Jews and are not. And what's happening? They being destroyed out of that land because they don't belong there. So this is really a prophecy of World War III. How else would they be destroyed out of the land? It's happening right now. And let's go back to this video.
Every one of them. He said he's going to destroy the entire bloodline of.
Well, this is pretty dark.
Yeah, he's going to destroy the entire bloodline. Then like dude said, this is pretty dark. Yeah, they're in the Bible dictionary, they're referred to as the nation whom the Lord will show absolutely no mercy.
Destroy each and every one of them. He said he's going to destroy the entire bloodline of.
Well, this is pretty dark, but it's the truth. These people have hijacked every major religion. It's not just Judaism, but I feel bad for the common Jew, the one that really knows nothing about this and is going about practicing the religion, but has been brainwashed by these Khazars, these synagogue of Satan, these false Jewish worshipers. They've brainwashed these Jews to take the blame for everything they're doing. And unfortunately, this brainwashing has really tainted the minds of a lot of Jews, a lot of people in Israel. And now they're paying the price because they made it seem like it was okay to go and take Palestine. They made it seem like it was okay to take over the entire Middle East for the Greater Israel Project because they're just God's people and it was promised to them 3,000 years ago. Well, the reality is God is a loving God. He would never kill children in his name.
And that's incorrect.
Worshippers, they're killing these children in the name of Baal and Moloch, but they're posing as Jews. So if you're a true Jew...
So yeah, this is common knowledge. Everybody understand that the Israelites, the fake who's, they're the Edomites. They're not Ashkenaz. They're not European. They're not Khazarian. Those are all distractions from the main point. They're the Edomites. Esau, Edom, the white man, trying to run from his judgment. That's why a criminal, they often have a fake ID or a fake name, different aliases. Khazarian, Jews, Caucasian, white, those are aliases. They not none of that. They're the Edomites. And then let's scroll through the comments real quick. The Hebrew Israelites in the USA have been saying this many years before Putin. A Caucasian says it, now we listen. Yup. Absolutely true. It's Esau claiming to be Jacob. So this is common knowledge. And most of these people are not fully in the truth. They can't be. That's according to prophecy. Because only a remnant will fully come into this. But even though most of these people not fully in this, they still got knowledge of it. And to fight for them is a soul swap for our lineage. So yeah, to fight for Israel, to fight for America, the Lord said everybody joins it to them shall be thrust through with the sword. All lies will be exposed and the truth will be known. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. They are not, okay. The world is deceived. This isn't something new within the American black community. This has been stated and disputed over decades. And what are they talking about? The elders of GMS and the elders before them, when they was out there teaching with no cameras. This has been stated and disputed over decades. So the truth has been out for decades. I remember hearing bros in New York. That's where the truth came out of. I remember hearing bros in New York in the 70s. This is how long the truth has been out. I also saw paintings overseas while in the military. As for Putin, he's not innocent. And yeah, Putin, cool dude, but he's not innocent. The Iranians, they cool, but they not innocent. Jews is a made-up name. That's correct. Because it actually comes from Judah. That is why DNA testing is banned in Israel. So again, this has become common knowledge. You know who the fake Jews are. They're Edomites. But not just the one who claim to be the Jews and are not, but all white people. They're Edomites. That's why they look alike. They're the only group of people who got no melanin. They're the Edomites. So we're going to come here to the book of Luke, chapter 2, verse 12. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So then you say, knowledge shall be increased. All lies will be exposed. So there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed. That's beginning with us. What was covered up? Our true identity. When something is covered up, meaning it's hidden, it kept secret. And our true identity, the Israelites, was kept secret from us. But guess what? It was revealed. It was hidden, but now it's known. Even who we are, being the Lord's people, that's become common knowledge. Even those who may not believe, they heard of it. They heard of this truth. But this also goes into Esau, because in order to discover, who the Lord's chosen people are, when you discover who the Lord's chosen people are, that'll help you discover who the wicked is. So if the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the chosen people, by default, Esau, the white man, who's always come up against us, he can be no other than the synagogue of Satan. He could be no other than the wicked, the Bible, the slanderer that the Bible speaks of. Because who's done more to the 12 tribes than the white man? Not the Chinese, Japanese, Arabs, East Indians, Africans. Nobody's done more to us than Esau, even the so-called white man. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, including their true identity. They're the Edomites. And that's according to prophecy too. So check this out. There is nothing covered. And when you get it in the NLT, it says, the time is coming when everything that is covered up will be revealed. All that is secret will be made known to all. So meaning it will be common knowledge. So just like they covered up our identity, called us Black, Mexican, Indian, Negroes, that was them covering up our identity, keeping it secret. They covered up their identity as well. You know, with English, Canadian, Russian, white, Caucasian, covered up their true identity. But for there's nothing covered that shall not be revealed. And then look what it says in Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. So you can't hide behind them fake identities anymore. White, Caucasian, English, Canadian, British, French, German. No, you're an Edomite. See that? I have uncovered his secret places. Then remember, the scriptures say, there's nothing covered. So the things that were covered up, that were kept secret, the Lord has uncovered it. And then again, it's become common knowledge. Everybody knows it now, or at least heard of it. He shall not be able to hide himself. So he can no longer hide from his identity. The secret is out. Everybody know you for damn sure not the people, but you're the Edomites. His seed is spoil you, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Then I'm going to get this in the book of Isaiah 45:19. I have not spoken in secret in the dark place of the earth. I said not unto the seed of Jacob, seek ye me in vain. So the Lord didn't wake us up to this truth for no reason. He didn't wake us up to who we are for no reason. He didn't give us an understanding of the mark of the beast and the nuclear destruction for no reason. He revealed it to us because it's about to happen. He revealed to us that we the Israelites because we about to receive that salvation. He revealed to us that Esau, Edom, the white man, are the Edomites, that they're the wicked, not in vain, not for no reason. We know that information now because they about to be judged. The Lord said he gonna cut the wicked off from the earth. I said, not unto the seed of Jacob, seek ye me in vain. The Lord didn't restore to us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding for no reason, to be here for 3 more generations. I, the Lord, speak righteousness. I declare things that are right. That's his truth. So we know this now, and it's become common knowledge because the Lord about to judge them. I'm about to say it over and over. That's what it is. And this is ultimately their judgment in verse 18. Matter of fact, we got to get this. And the Lord gave us an understanding that they're the Edomites because we at the end of the world. This is 2 Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, which is now. Esau is the end of the world. He will be in power at the end of the world. He will be revealed to be the wicked, to be the Edomites at the end of the world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we now know that white people, those fake Jews, are the Edomites because it's the end of their world. The Lord about to judge them. The Lord revealed to us that we the sons of Jacob because we about to be saved and the Lord about to set us up in power in the kingdom of heaven under Yahweh Shah. That's the beginning that followeth. So going all the way back to the book of Genesis 25, we done come full circle. And this is the end of Esau's world right here, Obadiah 1:18. The house of Jacob shall be a fire, the house of Joseph a flame, the house of Esau for stubble. They shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. You hear that? There shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. And let's see if we can show that again.
But the good thing is, according to the Bible, we don't need to do anything. God is going to smite each and every one of them. And he said he was going to do it when they return to Jerusalem, which they all are. And they're going to try to bring about a fake Messiah, but God's going to destroy each and every one of them. He said he's going to destroy the entire bloodline of them.
Well, this is
See that he's going to destroy the entire bloodline. There should not be any remaining of the house of Esau. For the Lord hath spoken it. So that's what's up next. But let's go up to verse 10 real quick. This what happened before the Lord destroys the bloodline of Edom. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So it's a 3-part prophecy. You have violence against Jacob, violence against the 12 tribes by the hand of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Then he will be covered in shame. That's why they don't want to teach the history of slavery, the slaughter and genocide, so-called Native Americans, the history of the conquistadors in Central South America. They trying to hide that because they covered in shame. So first comes the shame, then comes the judgment. They should be covered in shame, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So before he's cut off, he's going to be covered in shame, meaning exposed. So when 2 Thessalonians said the wicked would be revealed, that's not only his identity, but his entire history concerning his crimes against Jacob, his crimes against humanity, crimes against the earth, all the dirt that he's doing. And this is the book of Job 18 and 18. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. And he's being chased out of the world right now. That's why the Israelites told him, get the F out the way, Edomite. Then other countries, they kicking out anybody, or all these countries, they kicking out anybody that's foreign, that supports America or Israel. You know, the military bases, American embassies. The whole world is separating from America and Israel. So that's him being chased out of the world, because ultimately that's his fate. He won't exist no more. So yeah, that's the lesson. The wicked revealed. White people are the Edomites is now common knowledge. So Lord willing, that was informative, edifying. Till next time, Shalom.